A trainer electrified a water jump with a car battery. A car battery. They electrocuted it with a car battery. What? What? Hello, Dream Team members, and welcome to Tea Time with Justine. Today, our subject is the dark side of show jumping. Now, I have many personal stories and accounts of crazy things that go on in the equestrian world, and just some stories that I have also heard around, because unfortunately it is a dark world out there and I am ready to expose it. I am very new to talking about controversies on my channel. I like to keep it light and fun and act like the world out there is just amazing. But sometimes it's not. And now that I've just gotten older and gotten more experience and am really steadfast in my beliefs about horses and how we should treat them, I'm ready to share my experiences and my knowledge with you so that hopefully you can be aware of some of the crazy, very sad things that go on. Let's dive right in. So make yourself a glass of tea and join me for this steaming conversation. Cheers. So throughout my time as an equestrian, I have indeed been lucky enough to experience some of the top levels of show jumping shows, such as going to Wellington for the Winter Equestrian Festival, or going to Kentucky and showing at the Kentucky Horse Park. And I do say I'm lucky enough to have experienced that level because I do believe that there are really great people out there still, and that there are people who love their animals in all levels of the sport. But the higher up you get, the more likely you are to see the animals being treated as just a piece of equipment and not as something with feelings or nerve endings. So just putting that out there. So the first topic is something you may be familiar with or may have already heard, but you may not know how extreme some of these cases get, and that would be pulling horses. What is pulling horses? Pulling horses is whenever horses go over a jump and two people are holding the pole instead of it just sitting on the standards. And when they jump over it, they lift it up to knock the horse's legs and get them to tuck more, right? So essentially whenever they're going over it, they bash that hard pole into their legs and force them to tuck. They're like, ow! And so that the next time they do it, they're less likely to knock a pole on accident. Just this alone is very sad, and it's a good way to make a horse not want to jump. Because like, imagine you're walking on the sidewalk and suddenly the pavement comes up and punches you in the legs. You probably wouldn't be wanting to walk on pavement anymore, right? But with some methods people use, like excessive force, they're gonna go over it, they're gonna get smashed by that pole. Additionally, there are more extreme cases of this and some different variations. I recently read something from Shelby's blog. Shelby Dennis is Milestone Equestrian here on YouTube. You may already know of her, especially if you're watching this video. She's written a lot of great things for horse welfare. One of her blogs was a very similar topic to this video. It included, I forgot if it was her seeing this happen or just somebody telling her that they saw this happen. And that's where a trainer electrified a water jump with a car battery. A car battery. They electrocuted it with a car battery. What? What? I hope whoever's doing this accidentally fell in the water and got electrocuted themselves. Because can you imagine? Can you imagine doing that to an animal? A horse that you were trying to like build a bond with? In order to just make sure they jump clear, you're willing to electrocute them with a car battery? Some people need to not own horses. That's all I have to say. The next one is a personal account. I know who this story comes from and who found this substance that I'm going to be discussing. There's some substances that are illegal to use in competition, like Depo-Vera, which is a human form of birth control, and that like calms horses down. And they actually, in my equestrian career, they outlawed that in USEF competition, and we used to use that. When I was very young, I didn't make a call on what to use for the horses, but it's very interesting how I even had an experience using something that was now illegal. But there are also substances that are just illegal in general via the United States of America, such as cocaine. I knew somebody who worked in the grooming industry, and they were working for someone who was a really big name in show jumping, and they went into the tack stall that they had at the show and found Coke. Not Coca-Cola, like cocaine. This wasn't for their own personal use, this was for the horses. It is unfortunately not too rare to find horses drugged up on cocaine. Cocaine actually has an effect on horses where it makes them calmer. So if you give your horse a dose of it, they will be calmer for the competition. Drugging horses. And that, my friends, is how money, power, and social status can get you to bend the laws of the United States of America. Another thing that I have witnessed in my time of being on the show circuit is that right before horses enter the arena to go do their show jumping round, the groom or whoever's on the ground will tighten their boots up. Not the riders, the horse's boots. Their protective jumping boots. How ironic is that? Something used for protection. And they will basically tighten them super, super tight so that the horse steps up and is a little more careful with their feet, and it's more uncomfortable, it's more sensitive. It's kind of like how in Big Lick when they put those god-awful shoes on those horses and it stabs them in the bottom of their feet. They lift their feet really high. Similar idea whenever you tighten your jumping boots and restrict the blood flow and all the good things that is supposed to happen in a leg of a horse. You cut that off and your horse is a little more careful in the jumping ring so that you can go clear and you can earn the money, because who cares about horses' legs? Probably one of the most important and kind of delicate parts of their bodies. Who cares? Who cares? Go in that class. Also, talking about United States federal associations, ICE, as in the Immigration and Customs Enforcement of the United States of America. They also play a role in the dark side of show jumping. A lot of the grooms and stable hands are from a different country, and some of them are here that, you know, don't have papers or not here legally. And that's not really a controversy in itself, because, I mean, if you go to any show or if you've been on the circuit or you've been around a barn that has a stable hand, it happens. That's who's employed by the barn. The really sucky thing, even when you're at the top level and you got a lot of money, you still might be really greedy. I have heard of cases where big barns will use a lot of stable hands for a show, and some of these shows go on for a long time, right? Using a lot of labor, and then at the end of the show, they turn them into ICE so that they don't have to pay their stable hands. They don't have to pay their grooms. They get them deported after they use them. That's just so messed up. You can like not agree with illegal immigrants or anything like that. Like, that's not really the case here. It's the case of people are so greedy that they will use somebody and make them work so hard. Horses is so much work, just knowing that they're gonna turn them in at the end of it so that they don't have to pay them a cent. And that's really sad. Another thing that's just like, as I thought about it, we have used makeup on our horses, like human makeup, and I know that this happens and is more common in the hunter scene and the top like shows when you're getting like every detail you want to be perfect. I can't remember if we did this with our own horses, and I say our, but I mean like I didn't own the horse. It was just a decision that was laid on me, I guess, and I was a kid and didn't know better. So I'm not afraid to share it now, even though I know it was a big mistake. But yeah, mascara on horses, human mascara on horses, I doubt that can be good for them, especially so close near the eye. Why? 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 Is it gonna make that big of a difference that you gotta put those chemicals near your horse's eyes? Like, I know you put them near our eyes, but like they're formulated for humans, right? There's just something about it that like I don't like it. Okay, I'm not saying that this is like the worst thing that can be done, but it's like, it just doesn't sit right, you know? Now this next topic is one that is just amusing, and it's not cruelty or anything. It just really shows you that the top level is politics and money and status and all about who you know. And that's whenever you get done with a judged round, whether that be equitation or hunters. There are some trainers that have a certain cheer for their students, and that tells the judge that that's a winning round or they need to place them high. It's as simple as a cheer. It doesn't matter how good you did, okay? You could have worked so hard on that round, but you might be in a class with one of those trainers and they just gotta go whoop, 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 whoop. That's a secret signal between that trainer and the judge. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen in every class, but it does happen. And it makes me want to pull my hair out because there are people like me, and probably a lot of you, that work really, really hard to get to those top levels or to get to that dream show, right? And oftentimes it is an opportunity that does not come around a lot. And then just to know that a trainer, all they have to do is whoop, 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 when all we did was so much to get there, it's sad. It doesn't make it worth it. Enjoy the show. Don't worry about the placings because the placings are very political, and that's how it is at the top level. Now, I know a lot of the things I could be saying could be seen as like, oh, you're just jealous, you can't like do it all the time, or you're not rich and you don't get all these privileges. That is not the case because I have personally experienced these things. I have been lucky enough to be at those top levels and those shows, but I don't like it. It was weird. And even now, still learning about trying to have a natural connection with horses and stuff and not just see them as something we can do our sport on. And it's just increasingly eye-opening to some of the things that I either was taught to do, told to do, or experienced firsthand, or heard of from a friend. And it's disturbing. So that's all I'm gonna fit into today's video. There will be more tea times. I am not done. If you enjoyed hearing today's tea spill, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like, a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated and help me make more videos and bring more horsey content to you. But join me next time. Go out there and dream, believe, achieve. Bye! Goodbye. Great, my phone's almost dead. And that's where I have my list of everything that I'm gonna say. Love that. Oh man, I spilled tea on the blanket. Join me next time and subscribe for some more piping hot tea. Oh, we do love it, exposing others and myself at the same time.